Gentlemen, we're going to move on to another hot button topic, certainly across the country these days, abortion. Mr. Kennedy, we begin with you for this question. You've championed enshrining a woman's right to choose in the New York State Constitution. If elected, what will you do to support your party's desire for more abortion rights at the national level?
Well, we need to codify a woman's right to choose into law at the federal level. I have done it here in New York State, and we need to do it at the federal level. What we are seeing right now is a most conservative Supreme Court in the history of the United States eroding a woman's right to make her own healthcare decisions about her own body. A woman's right to choose should be between herself, her family, and her doctor. And it shouldn't be up to people like my opponent and myself or anybody else. It's a private decision between a woman and those she loves. The bottom line is, because of a Supreme Court that was put in place by a former president that my opponent supports, they are eroding these rights that were in place for 50 years under Roe v. Wade. But we codified Roe v. Wade here into law in New York State. And what we're seeing is the erosion of a woman's right to choose across this country, including today. And it's an unfortunate reality. I'll protect a woman's right to choose. My opponent will not.
Mr. Dickson, we do plan on asking you a question on this topic, but first we would like to allow you to rebut, if you so choose, to what Mr. Kennedy is saying.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I am personally pro-life. My views on this have not changed, unlike my opponents. But this issue is, as he says, at the state level. It has gone to the states. The voters in each state will get to choose, and the voters are the bosses. I personally do not think it should be a federal issue. I will not vote for a federal law either way on the abortion issue.
Well, Mr. Dickson, in response to the Arizona Supreme Court's decision to enforce a Civil War-era abortion ban, Donald Trump did release a video saying the issue should be left to the states. As you just noted, you believe that it should be a state issue. But are you concerned that places such as Arizona are enforcing what many are calling an extreme measure?
The details in Arizona, it's up to the Arizonans to resolve. I believe the Republican Party in Arizona quickly has rushed to say that they do not support it. And as I said before, I think the voters should be able to vote in it. I believe Florida is going to have a referendum soon in November. Other states have already had them. And I believe that's the appropriate place. It should do it at the state level. Let the voters vote. They are the bosses. We are their public servants.
Mr. Kennedy, your opponent did invoke your name. Would you like to rebut?
Yeah, look, if you ban abortion in this country, people will die. Women will die. And women will do things that they have to do that are unhealthy and they shouldn't have to do. The right to choose should be codified into federal law. We need to be able to allow a woman to make her own health care decisions about her own body. We did it here in New York State. We need to do it at the federal level.